Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, good people, man? It's your dog, Tired of checking in with a live stream tonight. This is a pop-up. They're not planning on going live at all tonight. But I couldn't resist myself. It was just too much falconry in the air. I might have even seen a falcon today sitting on a light pole. Just too much falconry in the air. I could not resist myself. Did not plan on doing the show tonight. But I was in the internet streets early today. I seen all these reports coming out from OTAs. You know what I'm saying? This person here, this person ain't here. This person said this about this person. Then I seen Roddy, Julio, Harry Douglas drop episode 1 of their podcast earlier today. I couldn't resist it, man. I had to come on, man. I had to come on and chop it up. We won't be here long today, but hey, man, had to come in, man. It was just too much falconry in the air, man. I could not resist myself. Sorry. But it's been a minute anyway, so you know I needed to do a show. It's probably been about, I think, maybe 2 weeks since I did a live. I think last time I did a live before we get into the meat of what we was gonna talk about. I told y'all I'll be going hiking and whatever. It is officially chanterelle season, chanterelle mushroom season. Those of you that frequent, the channel on a regular basis, y'all know that I'm really into mushrooms. I've gotten into hiking. You know what I'm saying? I actually went hiking this past, what's today, Tuesday? I went Sunday. And man, the chanterelles were out early this year, man. They normally don't pop out to like mid to late June. So you're about a month ahead of time. But they out early this year. And it's been raining the last 2 days. So I'm sure probably around Friday, Saturday, Sunday, man, they're going to be out again. But yeah, I went hiking. I hit the trail on Sunday. And the chanterelles was out there, man. There was a lot of them out there. A lot. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, since I've been, foraging and hiking, that's the most I've seen at one time. It was so many out there. I like, man, bump it, bro. I've been out here for a minute already. I got enough. So I'm about to head on back to the car. So I tore it down and headed on back. But yeah, man, I got me a nice haul. Got me some good exercise in with my hiking and whatever. And I came home and, I cleaned them up. And they became dinner. Some of y'all that's on my Facebook friends list, y'all, I posted it like, hey, man, this going to be my dinner tonight. And they was good and they was fresh too, man. So yeah, they became dinner, man. I put what's today, Tuesday? When I cooked yesterday, I put them in my dish. And today, for dinner, I had some pasta. And I put them in the pasta also, man. And they just bring in a whole nother dimension of flavor to the palate, man. I'm talking about a whole dimension of flavor to the palate. And the way I cooked them this time, like I cut them up in like halves, right? And then I put them on the pan, a skillet. But I don't put no oil or no butter on there initially. This is key. Don't put no oil or no butter on there initially. Just let them dry saute. And the reason I do that to get all the moisture out, because y'all know mushrooms is essentially, for the most part, mostly water anyway, just like us humans. I think human beings are about 65-70% water, somewhere like that. But same thing for mushrooms. So I put them on a skillet, dry them on out, and I slow cooked it. About 45 minutes, let all that water and moisture get out of them. And once all the moisture and water was removed, I added some butter. Then I started adding my seasoning and some herbs. And the thing about chanterelles, man, I know I'm probably like the only person that's in the mushrooms. I know y'all ready for me, like, man, just get to the falcons, bro. We don't care. But these are some exotic mushrooms. There are some of the most expensive mushrooms that you will find on the market also. So they're very highly sought after. And when you start putting them in that skillet before you put like your butter and all your, some people use olive oil or whatever, but before you do anything, man, they let off a like apricots lemon aroma. Oh boy, it's such a natural aroma that hits your nose before you put anything on them. It's like nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing else. But yeah, y'all know your boy done got in a hiking. I got my hiking stick with me. Y'all probably can't see it because of how I got the screen set up. But that's my stick right there. That's my hiking stick. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I be hiking, man. So any of y'all in the middle of Georgia area, hit me up, man. We'll go out there to the trail. We'll go hiking. We might go to High Falls, Indian Creek. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know. Let your dog know, man. That's some good physical, mental, and spiritual exercise. Hiking. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to go again later this week. But yeah, let's get this thing on the road, man. Welcome in, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Before we get started, man, let's shout out everybody in the building. We got King Rich in the house. Said they've been exposing everything on a podcast. Yeah, man, I listened to the podcast this evening, and I'm looking forward to the second episode. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to the second episode. We're going to really dig into that in just a moment. Also, we got our dog, Brian Cornelius, in the building. What's good, 404 in the building? Well, shout out to the 404 in the building. I was in the 404, Brian. When I went to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta 2 days last week, actually. And, man, that traffic, man, they working on the interstate from northbound to southbound 75, bro. That's just a mess. Dog, I was in traffic already bad enough in Atlanta. And let me tell y'all something else. For the locals, I'm starting to think 75 in Henry County is worse than Atlanta traffic, y'all. Straight up, man. You be sitting on set. Once you hit Henry County, McDonald's, Stockbridge, oh, bro, dog. You can get out and boil some peanuts on the side of the road before you move. But anyway, they're working on 75 and 75 southbound and northbound. I caught that jump both ways, bro. I caught it both ways. Which normally about an hour and 30-minute drive for me, turned to 3 hours. I was so frustrated. But yeah, I was in Atlanta Tuesday. I was in Atlanta on Thursday. I stopped by one of my favorite restaurants. I got a lot of favorite restaurants in Atlanta. Plant-Based Zoe, which is on McDaniel Street. Brian Cornelius, I'm sure you probably know where that's at. On McDaniel Street. Man, they got the best empanadas in the city. So all y'all ATLians, man, go to Plant-Based Zoe, look it up on Google and get the directions. And if you don't order nothing else, get you 2 empanadas. They only like $6.50. I guarantee you won't not be disappointed. Plant-Based Zoe. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Best empanadas in the city, bar none. But yeah, I was up there Tuesday, Thursday, man. You know, I had to handle some business up there. But shout out to everybody in the A. Shout out to the whole 404, man. East side, west side, south side. You know what I'm saying? East Atlanta, north side, Cobb County, Gwinnett, Dahlonega, Sandy Springs, Jones Creek, everywhere up there, man. We got Coach in the house. What's going on with you, Coach? Coach said, man, Julio Jones, no one cares. I got to disagree with you on that, Coach. A lot of Falcons fans do care. We do actually care. I get your sentiment, but we actually do care. Until I get the respect as a fan from you, he never existed as a Falcons player. We're going to get into that also. Because they were very, as King Richard said a moment ago, they were pretty candid on their podcast. We got our brother David Starks in the building. What's happening with you, bro, David? What's going on? Congratulations also to your daughter. I'm pretty sure that was your daughter. I saw your Facebook page, man. Headed off to college, if I remember correctly. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to her. And much blessings and success due. King Rich says, say what you want, coach, but there's a lot of truth to our Super Bowl. Ryan says, ready for that next podcast episode so we can get some longer weighted answers. Yes, sir. Can't wait. Bernard is in the building. What's happening, Bernard? I'm chilling, man. Chilling like a villain, doing very, very well. King Richard says, we need a Wild Pops episode for this. We need time to talk about it. Wait, man, we might have to pull out the Wild Pops this Friday night, man. You know what I'm saying? I might have to bring the bourbon out this Friday, man. And I ain't even been drinking. But we might have to pull it on up, man. So y'all be on the lookout, man. We might have to do the Wild Pops this Friday, man. Because it's a lot of Falcons content out here, man. I'm telling y'all, last few weeks, I just been like, God dang, boy, ain't nothing to talk about in the Falcons world, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nothing to talk about. God, because something happened. But it was a lot came out today. Zigzag in the house. What's that, Zigzag? The Sweetwater trailer is a dope walk. Where's that at, Zigzag? Let me know where that's at. Please let me know where that's at. Because I would definitely check it out if I'm able. Please let me know where that's at. David says the only clip I saw was a Roddy saying Shanahan basically lied to him, giving him targets in practice, but cutting him out of game plan. Yeah, they spoke on that also. Jay Black in the house. What's up, Jay Black? How you doing tonight, my friend? Good seeing you, Toddy. Chat rise up. Appreciate you coming in as always, Jay Black. We got our boy Million Mills is in the house. ABG, what's up with it? What's going on with you, Million Mills in this thing? How's it going, my guy? Big Ron Thomas is in the house. What's going on with you, Ron? How everything been going, man? Got our dog T Terry in the building. What's happening with your T Terry? Million Mills. What's the name of the podcast though? They got like a legacies. I forget. legacies. Something legacy podcast, legacy show podcast. I forget the name of it, bro. But I'm sure if you Google it, or just go to Harry Douglas Twitter or his Instagram, because he posting a lot about it. So just go to Harry Douglas Twitter, Instagram, and you can get everything you want from there. Jay, but that's the title year right here in County. Man, here in County, bro, like dog. Man, bro, that traffic in Henry County, bro, it's on another level, dog. It's on another level. You gonna just be sit there in jam-packed traffic, dog. Like, man, bro. Man, and I always be thinking like, yeah, man, I'm probably gonna end up moving to like the outskirts of Atlanta like this year or next year. And every time I go up, I'll be like, nah, I can't. I don't want to deal with this every day. I don't want to deal with this every day. It's always the traffic that helped me change my mind. Say, I ain't want to deal with this every day, bro. I don't want to deal with this every day. I mean, we got traffic in Middle Georgia too, but it's nothing like you deal with in Atlanta, bro, or the Atlanta area, Metro Atlanta. It's nothing like that, dog. That traffic in Atlanta will frustrate the hell out you, dog. Straight up. Zigzag say, I get off on Stockbridge exit to get to McDonald's, take those back streets. I got to learn that, man. I got to learn that. One time I ride my homeboy. It was a long time ago, man. But there was a lot of traffic. Man, that man, he was driving, right? He was like, man, fuck this. That man took 41. He took Highway 41 all the way from Atlanta back downhill through Macon, bro. We rode 41 the whole way through, bro. Man, I'm talking about, boy, them little back roads and country towns. I'm like, but we having a breakdown down here. Shit, we might be in trouble. King Richard says, I don't even go that way because of that traffic. Man, that traffic is crazy in here in County. Man, y'all gotta let me know the back way, dog. Because the only thing I know is getting on the interstate. I remember one time, this was years and years ago. This is when they first opened the that Peach Pass, that Peach Pass lane. And again, I was in Henry County, right there when the Peach Pass get ready to start. And traffic, like I was frustrated. Traffic was bagged up. I said, man, bump this. I'm about to get on the Peach Pass, whatever that lane called. I just called it the Peach Pass. I said, man, I hope they don't send me no ticket or nothing in the mail. I'm knock on wood, but it's been a long time ago. I got on there. I hadn't paid for it. I didn't pay. I never heard nothing about it. You know, I'm sure now, cause like I said, this was when they kind of first opened, maybe within the first year. But I'm sure now they got a way to read your license plate. So if some scan your license, your tag, and they know you ain't paid, they're probably gonna send you a ticket in the mail. But you know, I ain't heard nothing about it. I done got my license renewed and my tag renewed multiple times since then. So you know, looks like I might have just snuck in at the right time. David starts at Jonesboro to Eagles Landing. Been bad for a while. Yeah. Eagles Landing. I'm very familiar with that area, man. I be going to that Publix. I love that Publix over there. Also, one of my favorite cigar shops is right there on Eagles Landing too. So I go over there quite a bit. It's some money over there too, Dave. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you stay at in Eagles Landing, boy, I know you do it well, but let your dog hold a little something, man. They got gated communities and everything over there, man. Jay Black says plant-based Zodin. Yeah, hey, man, check them out, man. Check them out on McDaniel's, bro. Like best empanadas in Atlanta. I promise you, bro. I got me some empanadas and what else did I order? I ordered me a burrito, a quinoa burrito. It was very tasty. Now this is all Haitian inspired cuisines or foods. So you got some kick in there. So you know what I'm saying. If you don't like, you know, a lot of spice in your food, you know, you may not want to check them out. But you can still get you an empanada because the empanada, it don't have a lot of kick in there. But the rest of their entrees and their foods, it's Haitian. So you got a lot of seasoning in there, man. But I love it, man. So some good food. King and Richard, wait till they put the casino at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's gonna be real crazy. That's in Hampton, man. I've been to Atlanta Motor Speedway a few times. I never been to like a race. I always been to like an event. Most recent time I went, they had a Jeep event. You know, a lot of the Jeep clubs had got together and they held an event there. It was great. You know, just looking at all those Jeeps. And how a lot of the people had customized their Jeeps. They had me wanting to get a Jeep after I left. I'm like, man, I'm about to go buy me a Jeep. Then I looked at how much Jeeps cost. I'm like, nah, I'm straight, bro. I'm gonna stick with this Chevy. I'm good. I'm good. I didn't know Jeeps was that expensive until I started shopping them right after that event. But yeah, man, I didn't know the Jeep culture was that deep either. Especially with, and I hope I'm not sounding sexist by saying this, but especially within the female community, a lot of the dopest Jeeps that I saw that was owned by women or ladies. They had put a lot of work and effort into their Jeeps, man. So that was a great event to go to. I really enjoyed that. Let me see where we at here. Brian says LaFonda got some apple empanadas too. I never heard of that. You know, I'm gonna have to Google that and look them up when I have an opportunity to. Make sure I speak to everybody here before we get going. Jay Black said Julio said he only got 4 targets during the Super Bowl. That is criminal. Yeah, man, that was crazy. Legacy Locker Room Podcast. Thank you, King Richard. That's the name of it. Legacy Locker Room Podcast. Georgia, Texas boy in the house. What's going on with you, brother? Says I don't hear nothing else about Walker, so call hurt shoulder. I ain't heard nothing about that either. Georgia, Texas boy said, man, this team about to be lit. I'm looking forward to it too, bro. Very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to. Derek Hughes in the house says, what's up, Tyler? What's going on with you, Derek? What's happening? Hey, y'all keep the comments going, man. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Yeah, so they dropped episode 1 of the podcast. Before we start reacting to a few clips, I'm gonna tell y'all what I liked about the podcast. I'm also gonna tell you what I disliked about the podcast. I'm gonna start off with the things that I liked about the podcast. I loved how open and transparent everybody was. They really dug deep and went behind the scenes of a lot of stuff. And normally on a lot of podcasts, when they do the very first episode, they'll save a lot of the juice till later on, kind of build up anticipation. But they got right into it from the very first show. You know, they talked about a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Roddy White talked about him and Cal Shanahan's relationship and what went wrong there, you know, which we'll look at a clip in just a moment. Um, they talked about what was their favorite moment as a Falcon, what was their least favorite moment as a Falcon. Harry Douglas said one of his least favorite moments was losing the 2012 NFC Championship, and him slipping. You know, y'all know that infamous play where, you know, he tripped over his own feet in a play that could have won us the game. He said he'll probably never live that play down. But he said that the ball got caught in the lights and he could not see the ball until it was too late. Which probably knocked his coordination off a little bit, I assume, and caused him, as he said, to trip over his own feet. If I remember correctly, Roddy also said losing the 2012 NFC Championship was his worst moment as a Falcon. He said he truly believed that they were the best team in the NFL that year. He talked about how they beat the Baltimore Ravens the year prior by just running no huddle offense, and the Ravens didn't have an answer for it. And Roddy was like, we were going to do that. We were going to do that again in the Super Bowl. You know, we were going to beat them again in the Super Bowl. And Roddy was pretty much saying, you know, that he strongly felt they were the best team in the NFL that year. Julio said his worst moment, if I remember correctly, I think he said, of course, the Super Bowl. And he also, to my surprise, said getting traded. He said that was his worst moment as a Falcon. And I'm sure they're saving the Julio leaving Atlanta for the second episode, but they gave us a little prelude to it. And it seems like, I'm sure we're gonna have to wait until Julio tell the story, but it really doesn't seem like it's something that Julio wanted. So again, I'm looking forward to the second episode when Julio will go into detail. And again, that's something that I love about the show, because they're giving all the juice up front. You know, we're gonna put all this on the table up front during the off season, and I'm sure once the regular season of the NFL start, they'll start covering the season and the Falcons a lot too. But right now in the off season, man, they're just letting everything go. They also talked about a part of that 2012 NFC Championship game. Roddy and Harry Douglas both agreed like Julio didn't have no faults. He balled out that game, so like went nothing on him. Roddy was saying he made a mistake on a route that he felt like cost him the game. Harry said his part, you know, cost him the game. I think Roddy said he made two mistakes that he felt like cost them the game. They said Matt made some mistakes that they felt cost him the game with the fumble, and I forget what else they said about Matt, but they pointed that out. But they both agree like Julio, hey man, you did what you're supposed to do. You look like Superman that game, so nothing bad to say about you. But I love that, man, and it was, if I remember, the episode was a little bit under an hour long, but it was a great episode, man. And the setup is Harry Douglas plays the part of Magic Johnson. He's running the point guard. You know, he's the point guard of the podcast. And Julio and Roddy are like Byron Scott and James Worthy. He's just feeding them no-look passes and behind-the-back passes and, you know, bounce passes and letting them finish. But Harry, you know, he's media trained. You know, Harry been in media, working for like big entities, ESPN, you know, essentially since he retired. So he's seasoned to this, you know, so he's out there running the point, and Harry does a great job. He does a great job. And from episode 1, to my surprise, I thought Roddy would have the bigger personality, but Harry has the biggest personality. And again, that probably goes back to his experience behind a microphone. What else? I should have wrote down notes. I typically never write down many notes, but I should have wrote down some notes on things that I want to touch on. But yeah, that's pretty much the stuff that I liked about it. You know, it was good to hear behind the scenes of what happened in that 2012 NFC Championship game from Julio Jones' perspective. What happened in the Super Bowl? He talked about that pretty in depth also. The Super Bowl. Now, what I disliked about it, for all the old heads like me that's in here, if y'all remember the Legend of Zelda video game on Nintendo, not PlayStation, not Xbox, we're going all the way back to Nintendo. If y'all remember the Legend of Zelda, getting that episode to play was like playing the Legend of Zelda. You know, I felt like I was going to hidden rooms and looking for clues and, you know, having to put in codes to get it to play. And at one point, I was just like, man, bump it. It's hard to get to. It was hard for me to get to. And I started reading some of their comments on their Instagram profile, and everybody was having the same problem. It's not user-friendly, or at least it wasn't when I watched it. Very hard to get to, very difficult to get to. It's not like you just type it in Google and there it is. No. It's all kind of back channels and other stuff you got to go through. So I got to be honest, I dislike that part of it. It was not easy to get to. You know, it was not easy at all to get to. And they're not putting it on like Spotify or YouTube. You know, normally everything goes up on YouTube. Now they're doing it through their app, which is owned by Julio Jones. And I get that. I understand that. They're like, look, if we finna give y'all some quality behind the scenes content from one of the best wide receivers of his time, and another very, very good damn wide receiver, and another very good quality wide receiver, like, look, we're gonna run it on our platform. For now, it's gonna be on our platform. You know, that's how y'all would have to get to it. You know, and I'm not mad at them at all about that, man. Like, look, you're gonna put the content out, you know, you bring in all the money of it. And if it ends up doing very well, which it should, man, which it should, I'm sure one of these big sponsors will come in and drop a bag like, hey, man, look, we want to partner up. Like, look, let's get this off this app. Let's get this on all the major platforms. You know, hey, this is what we offering y'all. We got 20 million, 30 million, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million, 60 million. Because believe me, they ain't doing this for free. You know what I mean? I'm sure they got some plans, but shout out to Julio, Roddy, and Harry, man. That was a great show. That was a great show. So, in fact, let's look at one of the clips, if we can, from the show, and we're gonna talk through it if y'all don't mind. So let me pull this up here, and we're gonna look at this together. No, not that. Okay, yeah. So let's do that. So this is one of the clips from the show. Let me turn my background music down a little bit so we can all hear a little better. And we're gonna listen to this, and then, you know, we're gonna react to it. Episode 1, here goes.
What led to your departure though?
What do I think?
Like in Atlanta.
When we first sat down with Kyle Shanahan, right? It was like, he was like, all right, this is how I envision the offense, blah, blah, blah. We would literally go through practice scripts, and I would get the ball at practice, right? And then when we go in the games, like, he would sub me out. Like, he would be in the headphones.
You can hear Matt. You know, we've seen right now. We can hear him.
Yeah, we can hear him.
Oh, so
and
doing it on purpose.
Yeah, so I can hear him say,
dang, so they saying you run practice with me in the game, running these plays all week long, from Tuesday through Saturday, practice, walkthroughs, and all that stuff. But we get in the game, and you pulling me out, you know?
Get Roddy out. I was like, you gotta be real with me, man. because I'm about to lose my shit. He was like, I just don't see you as like the top 4 options on the team.
Oh,
I don't see you as a top 4 option on the team. So this was Kyle's first year here. So that would have been what, 2015? And he didn't see Roddy as a top 4 option. Now, granted, you know, Roddy had got a little older. He started battling some injuries, but man, he's not a top 4 option on the team. Of course, Julio at that point, he was the number 1 option, but man, it's hard to believe that Roddy White wasn't a top 4 receiving option on the team in 2015. Look at Harry Douglas' face. She's like, oh.
Lord.
I said, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, if the game was on the line, I would throw the ball to who? I would throw the ball to Jacob Tammy. I would throw the ball to Leonard Hankerson.
He ain't say that to your face.
This is what he told me. And then he said, and then I'll run a play for free to throw the ball to free. And then
wait a minute now. Wait a minute. If the game was on the line, so Roddy White is saying Kyle Shanahan told him, if the game was on the line, I would throw the ball to Julio, Jacob Tammy. Shout out Jacob Tammy. He was a very quality tight end for us. Leonard Hankerson and Devontae Freeman out of the backfield before I throw the ball to you if the game was on the line. Wow. Wow.
in you.
He told you that?
He told me that.
Wow. So let's look at 2015. Let's look at the stats. So Roddy White is saying that Kyle Shanahan told him he viewed him as the fifth receiving option on the team. Wow. That's a revelation. I knew their relationship was bad, but goodness. So 2015, Julio Jones had to say he had a great year that year would be an understatement. He had an all-time great year. Emphasis on the word all time. Julio led the NFL in receptions. He also led the NFL in receiving yards. And he also had 8 touchdowns that season. And for Julio, hey man, you 8 touchdowns for Julio, that's great for him. So obviously he was the wide receiver one, no doubt about that. Julio had 203 targets that year. Second on the team in targets, surprisingly, was Devontae Freeman. He had 97 targets and 73 yards, 578 receiving yards. So in terms of targets, he was the second receiving option on the team. Next on the list in targets is actually Jacob Tammy. So this is all falling in line with Roddy just said. Tammy had 81 targets, 59 yards. Excuse me. I apologize. 81 targets, 59 catches, 657 receiving yards. Then you have Roddy White in terms of targets. Roddy had 70 targets, only 43 receptions, 506 receiving yards. The aforementioned Leonard Hankerson, who Kyle said is above Roddy in terms of who he would throw the ball to if the game was on the line. Hankerson had 46 targets, 26 catches, 327 yards. I remember Hankerson was solid for us that year. I mean, he wasn't nothing special, and I say it respectfully to him, but he was solid. I felt Jacob Tammy was a good tight end for us for a year and a half. He got hurt the Super Bowl year, But I feel like he did a good job for us. You know, he gave us some good receptions, and he was very good at blocking tight end. But man, to say Roddy is fifth on the totem pole, man, that is saying something. That is definitely saying something. So obviously, and this isn't the first time that Roddy has really talked about this. He spoke about it on some other interviews that I saw. I remember at one point he said he was barking on Kyle Shanahan, and he felt like Kyle Shanahan got to the point where he was scared of him. Y'all as y'all already know, Roddy is kind of a hothead. You know, looks like he got a temper. But I can imagine that wasn't a good space to be in a NFL locker room when one of your star players is now having so much beef and turmoil with the offensive coordinator. So that made it easier to get Roddy White out of there, which eventually happened. Roddy was cut that offseason. But that's very, very surprising to hear. Later on in the show, they talked to Julio Jones. And I'm going to say this also. When I first heard them announce they were doing a podcast and they said Julio going to be on the show, I was like, man, are y'all joking? Like, Julio don't, like, man, you lucky if you get Julio to say 8 words, consecutive. And as you watch the podcast, you can kind of tell that that's just who Julio is. He was being open on the show, but you could kind of tell he was the least talkative person, And I imagine as they do more episodes and more shows, he'll start to come out his shell a little bit. But you just get the vibe that Julio is not a man of many words. Even on this show, even though he had his segments where they were like, okay, Julio, this is your segment, so you're gonna have to talk and explain what was going on. But you can just kind of tell like he ain't gonna say a lot. Julio probably the type at a party, he gonna be posted up in a corner chilling. He don't seem like the life of the party type of personality, which is totally fine. I get that. I understand that. Even though I'm in front of the microphone, that's kind of what my personality is also. Commonly known as an introvert. And that shine very bright in episode 1. But with that said, let's get to a segment of Julio Jones. He's about to talk about the Super Bowl, and we're gonna watch this. So let's go here and watch this. How's the sound, y'all? I'm not looking at the comments. I apologize. Is the sound coming in good from when they talking on the show? Somebody give me a sound check. If y'all can't hear, okay, thank you, David. David said sounds good. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so let's listen to Quintorris Lopez.
I have yet to go back and watch it.
Oh, the game?
Yeah,
I haven't went back to watch the game.
I never went back and watched it either, Julio. I can't even really say that I have consciously went and looked at highlights. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've never seen any highlights. I'm a Falcons fan. I watch a lot of Falcons content. So naturally, I've seen highlights of the game. But it's never a time where I'm going into YouTube, Julio Jones, sideline catch Super Bowl. Devontae Freeman, touchdown catch in the Super Bowl. Robert Alford, pick 6 on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I don't do that. I don't do that. I never went and watched that game again. That agony when watching it live in Houston, Texas, that evening in February was enough to last me a lifetime. I don't need to see it again. So I'm with you on that, Julio. And I'm saying this as a fan, so I can only imagine how I felt for him playing in it. Goodness. But let's continue.
And two, like for me, just like in that game, it was just like I had 4 opportunities in that game. In that whole game too, though. Like all this, what I've done and as the team and we got to the Super Bowl, it's just like I had 4 opportunities.
You can look at his body language and a somber tone of his voice. You could tell this really bothers him a lot still. This game, him only having 4 opportunities to help his team win, all of this still bothers him greatly. When he's talking, his eye contact is down. This still bothers Julio Jones a great deal. I mean, it still bothers me a lot. So again, I can only imagine one of the main components that play in the game. I can only imagine, but this still bothers him a lot. It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to say a word. It's written all over his face.
Bro, that one catch you had on the sideline.
I had 4 opportunities though the whole game.
Harry trying to give him some props, kind of cheer. Let me cheer you up. That catch you had on the sideline, Julio like, no, F that. Only had 4 opportunities the whole game.
That's insane.
That is
4
ridiculous.
targets in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
But again, I did what was asked of me.
I did what was asked of me. But y'all, like I say, you can just look at his body language, his tone, his voice. This still bothers Julio a lot, y'all. This bothers him greatly. And he continues to put an emphasis on only have 4 opportunities the whole game. I know he didn't have 100 yards. Y'all help me out. What did Julio have in that game? 87 receiving yards, 83 receiving yards, something like that, 4 catches. If I remember correctly. Shout out to Tonio in the house. What's going on with you, my brother? How you doing tonight, bro? But yeah, I think he had about 80 something yards. And I totally understand what Julio's saying. I do remember after that game, Bill Belichick spoke out, and he said a big part of his defensive game plan was to slow down and stop Julio Jones. Make any and everybody beat the Patriots but Julio. So Belichick revealed that they put a special scheme, a special strategy, a special defensive game plan in solely to stop Julio. Hey, let Devontae beat us, let Taylor Gabriel beat us, make Muhammad Sanu beat us. But number 11, you the Michael Jordan of this team. We're gonna double and triple team you if we have to. You ain't gonna using a basketball analogy, you ain't gonna put up 40 this game. We're gonna hold you to 20 points. Everybody else gonna have to beat us. But Belichick said that. As a Falcons fan, man, it bothers me to an extent, still, like I'm sure it still bothers some of y'all about the Super Bowl and knowing how close we were to winning it and not finishing our dinner or finishing our breakfast. But man, you could just let's run that back and listen to Julio again, y'all. You could just look at him. I'm gonna run this back. Pay close attention to his eye contact and his body language and his tone.
Man, about the Super, I have yet to go back and watch it.
Oh, the game?
Yeah, I haven't went back to watch the game. And two, like for me, just like in that game, it was just like I had 4 opportunities in that game. In that whole game too, though. Like all this, what I've done and as the team and we got to the Super Bowl, it's just like I had 4 opportunities.
He's pretty much saying all I've done, all them great catches, them great plays, the great years I've made, everything I've done for this team from 2011 up to this point in 2016. I put up 300 yards on Carolina. I had 20 plus targets, but the biggest game of my life, the biggest game in this franchise's history. Yeah, and I get we had been to a Super Bowl before, but we got blew out from start to finish that game. Biggest game of my life, biggest game of this franchise history, and I only had 4 opportunities to help us win. And I feel like, yeah, Tom Brady is on the other side, but I feel like in my heart of hearts, I'm the best player on the field. I feel like, did y'all not see what I did to Green Bay 2 weeks before that at the Georgia Dome? Man, I look like Michael Jordan in his prime. I look like Barry Bonds in his prime. I had 175 yards and 2 touchdowns in my sleep. And if the game was even competitive, I would have gave them 275. If needed be, I could have gave the Packers 275. So the biggest game of my life, I only have 4 opportunities. I feel you, Jet.
Bro, that one catch you had on the sideline.
I had 4 opportunities though the whole game. That's insane.
That is
4
ridiculous.
targets in the Super Bowl.
No, that's ridiculous.
But again, I did what was asked of me. Man,
I get where he coming from when he said I did what was asked of me. I did what was asked of me. That said a lot to me. I did what was asked of me. If they'd asked me to be targeted 20 times, I was up for the task. But yeah, that Super Bowl, it's always something to go back and listen to this. Now, I'm gonna play some more clips, and I apologize to y'all, but the clips that I'm gonna play, I'm gonna have to play it from the phone. These are just clips I found like on Twitter or stuff they put out for promotion. I didn't even watch it on the app. I listened to it on the app. I could not get a visual, so I listened to it. Like I say, everything was great, but the actual getting to it to the episode, it was tough. But I'm gonna play some more stuff on here, some key points that we'll talk about real quick. Before we do that, Derek Houston, I believe Vegas paid off that game or something. Ain't no damn way to tell the two halves. I've heard plenty people say that before. Brian Cornelius said Julio only got 4 targets. Ball gets taken out of Freeman's hands to Kyle Shanahan. In fact, at his best. Yeah, you make a great point. And they talked about that in the show also. Kyle Shanahan. There's one point in the episode where Julio said was when there was only 8 minutes left, the only thing, it was 3rd and 1. Run the ball. But we're trying to pass. Run the ball. Run the ball. Dexter Vlad, shout out to you, Dexter, says 4 ops, and they were throwing the absolute out of the ball. I remember yelling to the top of my lungs, run the ball. I was doing the same thing. Like, why are we passing? Like, this is not week 2 when you're trying to work on plays early in the year. This is the Super Bowl. Just run the ball. Like, boy. But I'm gonna play this, y'all. Let me know if y'all can't hear this. I'm gonna try to play it through the phone. This is Harry Douglas talking about when he dropped the ball in the NFC Championship game.
For you, one of the things, man, from the NFC Championship game, I think that will probably haunt me for the rest of my life is that play that I had where I fell down and I caught the football when I was wide open. And it's crazy, man, because we probably ran the play Z return wheel how many times that season?
1,000.
man,
Like,
please.
from practice, other games, that whole 9, we ran Z return wheel. Then I knew the ball 1,000% was coming to me. It was man coverage, threw Rodgers down. But boy, when I looked in that sky for that football and I ain't see it, I ain't gonna lie, I went in panic mode. I said, okay, just catch the lights. But then when I was looking at the lights, I was like, I can't see this football, man. And at the very last minutes, that's when I seen it. And I tripped over my own feet. But that's something, man. I don't think I ever told.
He trying to catch a ball, but
Yeah, so that's Harry Douglas describing what happened when, as he mentioned, he tripped over his own foot. He pretty much saying, look, he lost the ball in the lights and he went in panic mode. And by the time he found the ball in the lights, and it was coming to him. It was too late. He was already discombobulated by that time, and we know how it ended. Him tripping on his own feet, and it stopped a golden opportunity for Atlanta to go to the Super Bowl. And that's just another play in a long list of just buzzer's luck for Atlanta. That's just another one of them plays. There's another clip I want to put. Can y'all hear this good when I play it through the phone? I want to make sure that the volume is good. If y'all can hear that well, let me know. But I do want to play another clip. This is when this is Julio Jones talking about what Atlanta was like during the Super Bowl run. Derek, thank you, Derek. Millie, appreciate it. Brian, appreciate it. Thank y'all. Okay, we good to go. Derek says, thank you for shifting gears. I'm getting upset. I feel you, bro. I feel you, but that's like, bro, that was a tough one, dog. But yeah, we're gonna continue to shift the gears. Derek, we're gonna go to Julio speaking on the city of Atlanta during the Super Bowl run.
But just the whole, like I said, man, the city was just turned up. The city was sideways. Like everything. I remember us going to Atlantic Station on the buses and stuff for the Super Bowl. So many people out there. I'm like, it's just an experience for me. I was like what I did in college, but like in the pros, I'm just like, damn, this shit surreal. I'm like, this is crazy. Atlanta really out here.
Yeah.
Like the city.
That NFC Championship game, bro.
Yeah.
Like the last game at the Georgia Dome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you went for 150 that game. Matter of fact, I was in the suite with your fam.
Okay.
Nah, I don't think he went for no 150.
In the NFC Championship game?
Nah, they went for like 300.
Nah, he went for 300 against Carolina.
Yeah.
That was Carolina. That was the same season.
All right.
Yeah.
Cause I just remember you catching that
Was it a shallow route?
No, it was a
an over route.
No.
Versus 2-man?
No.
Oh no, Tom, it was drift.
Yeah, it was drift.
It was drift when I went out.
Yeah.
Went out the back.
Oh, okay.
That was drift.
Yeah, he called it drift.
Yeah, just a little close, tight. Wide.
So you did the little track finish, huh?
There's a lot of those.
No, I ain't gonna lie though. And
What?
people that play wide out, I have a better understanding for this.
All right, so that was again Julio talking about Atlanta, how Atlanta was doing that Super Bowl run, and I can attest to this. I've spoken on this show about it numerous of times, and I know me and Uncle Steve we've talked about it dozens of times. Lisa Shepard, we talked about it dozens of times, but those two playoff games in Atlanta that year that Julio was talking about, the Super Bowl year, it was like Julio said, it was surreal. I've been going to Falcons games since I was been a kid, and I just never saw, I never felt, I never experienced all of that in one. What was going on during that playoff run at those games at the Dome? I never experienced that, man. Even the last game in the regular season against the Saints, I was at that game. But when the playoffs started, it just, like Julio said, like, again, it was surreal. Like, I remember getting to that Seattle game, and it was just, I mean, all NFL games in a major city, it's packed, but it was just different. And this was at the Dome, and I remember getting out my car. I'm like, damn, it's a lot of people here. I mean, I get it's a playoff game. Like, damn, it's a lot of people here. And I'm walking up North Side, there's people everywhere. And then once I got into the Dome, I was like, oh, this is different. And man, I'm telling y'all, from the opening kickoff, Seattle never had a chance. That energy, that magnified energy of that Dome, they never had a chance. They ran into a buzzard saw, literally. And that it was. Then you go to the following week, the NFC Championship game, the Packer game. It's the same thing for the Packers. They never had a chance. From the opening kickoff, they never had a chance. And I remember coming from the Seattle game. Now I'm at the Packer game. And I'm turned up. I'm lit. And I just remember at one point I stopped. And again, this is going back to Julio saying this is surreal. I still remember this moment I had with myself. I stopped because I know at one point the stadium started shaking. I had never experienced that at a Falcons game. And I just stopped. I soaked it all in. I was like, damn, is this Atlanta? Like, this crowd is insane. This energy is insane. So I can testify for Julio about that. I seen it from a fan's perspective. He's seen it from a player's perspective. But man, the fan base, it was just pandemonium is an understatement. Like, I promise y'all, there's not a team in the history of the NFL. I don't care who you go to, 85 Bears, that first Baltimore team, any of those 49ers teams in the 80s, any of those still current teams in Pittsburgh, there is not a team in the history of the NFL that would have beat Atlanta in any of those playoffs atmospheres in 2016. There's not a team in history. The vibe, the energy, the fans, like, it was just too much. No team would have been able to come to our house and leave with a W. It was not going to happen. And that was the first time that I really experienced as a Falcons fan what home field advantage can do to an opposing team. I remember seeing Aaron Rodgers give up. Like, fuck it, we can't win. I remember seeing him give up. Third quarter, Aaron Rodgers gave up. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the will to fight and compete leave Aaron Rodgers. I saw the same thing in Seattle. Like, that place was so loud and obnoxious. Nobody was going to come into the Georgia Dome and beat Atlanta. It was not going to happen. And I never seen our stadium and our fans like that before that game, before that year. And I haven't seen it like that since. So that's why I think it's very critical and important we start back winning, because I know our fans catch a lot of heat, but we've had to endure a lot. But man, like Matt Ryan said, if you start winning, these Falcons fans will show up and they will show out. They will show up and they will show out if you start winning. Now, if you keep bringing home these 7-10 seeds, 8 and 9, oh yeah, we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna. It's a lot to do in Atlanta, bro. It ain't like a lot of these other cities with NFL teams, bro. People can choose to spend their $200 to $400 to $500 on something else in Atlanta. So if the team gonna be out here BSing and they ain't about business, they ain't about winning, people gonna do something else, bro. It's just that much to do in Atlanta. But that Super Bowl, man, that was. I'm just, even though we didn't win the Super Bowl, I'm grateful, I'm thankful that I was in a position to experience that. Because I never seen that on the scale, on the NFL scale like that ever in my life, ever. And I've been to other stadiums too. I've been to stadiums all the way down in Florida, NFL stadiums always in Florida, all the way to the West Coast side of LA. I never experienced nothing like that. Never, ever. Never. But let's see what else we got. We going. Let's see. Let's listen to one more. I don't want to play too much because I want everybody to listen to it themselves. Let's play one more thing. This is Julio Jones speaking on the trade when he left Atlanta. Let's listen to that.
interception. It's your little interception.
Oh, yeah. Seattle game. Shout out to Russell Wilson, man.
Yeah, you got
You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that pick.
Shout out to
man.
who?
Huh?
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
So that was your greatest moment as Atlanta Falcon.
Yeah.
2016 season, Super Bowl, that whole 9.
Mhm.
What would you say was your least favorite moment?
My least favorite, no doubt about it, the trade. Me leaving Atlanta.
2021.
Absolutely. Terrible.
Let me ask you this, because I always wanted this.
Mm-hmm.
When Shannon Sharp called you,
Correct.
when he was on the Fox show,
Mm-hmm.
did you know you was on live TV?
No, not at all.
Oh, so we got another revelation. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, for transparency. I always thought Julio and Shannon Sharp set that up together. But Julio's telling us, I had no idea I was on live TV. They set me up. Shannon set me up. You know, and as we done seen from Shannon Sharp and his little Instagram shenanigans, he like set stuff up on social media. But let's keep going.
It's like you calling me. It's like you calling me, and you say who? What? I'm like, yeah, da. I'm gonna let you know what I mean.
So here's the crazy part, right? Remember we had Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
And we used to be.
Now with this known and this said, and I think Julio's telling the truth. I don't feel like he got no reason to lie. That changes my temperature on him leaving a little bit. And again, I'm looking forward to the next episode. They're gonna talk about why him and the Falcons fell out. You know, like I said, they get all the juice up front. That's what I love about this. Normally, people make you wait about 10 to 12 episodes, but they get the juice up all up front. But this does change my temperature a little bit, because I honestly thought Julio was a party in setting this up. Excuse me, but Julio said I had no idea I was on the phone. I just thought it was just like when you called me, hey, we're just shooting the shit. But that's a revelation I'm glad to hear, because again, I always thought Julio was a part of it. I'm like, damn, Julio, like why shit on us like that, big bro? Like, come on, bro. Like, what's up with that?
Mic'd up, and when we used to be mic'd up for a game, what's the first thing we would do with one another?
We let each other know.
Hey, don't come over here and talk that shit.
Hey, don't say I got this for sure.
Stay away from me.
Yeah. Because you be saying some crazy stuff on the mic, though. You really do. You really do, man. Some of the things you said on mic, though. I'm glad they edit all that stuff, though. I mean, they would see a side to you that they really wouldn't want to see.
Well, my thing was, if I'm gonna be mic'd up, I'm not gonna alter who I am as a person to please the mic'd up. I'm gonna be who I am.
But that's why half of the stuff they couldn't use on
Yeah,
you.
true story.
Yeah.
So what was the purpose of miking you up?
Yeah.
Well, I would respect my opponent. It's just I was gonna talk the way I talked. But I want to get back to you though, because the 2021 trade, that's when you got traded from Atlanta to the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everyone in Atlanta, everybody and their mama, they want to know what was the discourse that led to that moment from your side of things.
And they leave episode 1 on a cliffhanger. So episode 2, they're gonna talk about Julio, what happened between you and the Falcons, what happened between you and Arthur Blank. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. Because fired, that has really left a bitter taste in a lot of Falcons fans' mouths, including me, on how everything happened, how everything transpired. And I will give Julio credit. He has not spoken out on this publicly, and he waited until he retired. And that honestly, and I gotta actually salute Julio for that, because he ain't blind, he ain't deaf. He done heard about the mud that has been thrown his way from segments of this fan base. I know he has, but he did the right thing and the professional thing. He said, look, I'm still on the NFL team. When I retire, I'll address all of that. When I retire, that will be addressed. And now he's officially retired. Now he's addressing it. So I will salute Julio for that, because you did not fall for the bait. You know, you didn't allow us Falcons fans to trick you into doing something that you really shouldn't do while you're still playing NFL football. So I will be patiently waiting for episode 2 to hear everything from Julio's side, because it's very important that you hear both sides of a story. You know, Arthur Blank has spoken publicly, 2 or 3 times, and we've heard Arthur's side. Now we finally get to hear Julio's side. And as some of y'all may already know, I had I guess I'll call it a back and forth with Julio's family before about kind of this topic. And I vividly remember Julio's nephew telling me, this was about a year? Yeah, this was a year ago. I remember him telling me what Toddy, when my uncle gonna retire soon, and when he retires soon, he'll speak on what happened with him and the Falcons. So let's leave it at that. Nephew, Jalen is his name. I'm sure you don't watch this, but I gotta salute you too, because you told me exactly how this was gonna play out. You said your uncle's about to retire, and when he do retire, he'll speak on it then, because he don't talk a lot. But he'll speak on it when he retire, and then get back with me after you hear what he has to say. So, Mr. Jalen, I'm patiently waiting to hear what your uncle gonna say about what happened from his point of view, because he has already said one of the worst parts of his Falcons career was being traded. So it kind of leads me to believe like some part of him didn't want to leave. Now that I'm hearing this podcast, but great show. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. I wish I could have a link for y'all, but like I say, this was like playing Legend of Zelda for me to even listen to it. So the best advice I can give you is to go to Harry Douglas' Instagram or his Twitter and just follow the links. And good luck. Hopefully they worked out a lot of the bugs. But it was a great show. Outside of getting to listen to it, getting there, once you press play, hey man, great episode. Julio, Roddy, Harry, great job, fellas. Shout out to my dog A1 Sports in the building. What's going on with your Tip? Y'all make sure to check out Tip here on YouTube. Also, excellent Falcons sports content creator, man. Appreciate you coming through, my guy. David says, if you go back and look at the show, Skip said, I hope he has the guts to answer the phone. This is why I don't believe Julio. I'm gonna take him at face value, David. Because I don't right now, as I listen to this on this Tuesday, I don't really see why he would really have a reason to lie now that he's finally spoke on it. And I'll reserve further opinion on it until after he lets us know what happened from his side. Because I got a feeling that he's gonna, once he tells his story, we're gonna be like, oh, I didn't know that. So I'm gonna reserve further opinion on that until after episode 2. We'll come back and talk after episode 2 once Julio has a chance to give his side of the story. Because like I say, Arthur Blank then told his side of the story 2 or 3 times. Now it's Julio's turn. Terry says Shannon Sharp said he wished Julio would have stayed in Atlanta. Really says they had an update for that. Oh, thank God. Whoa, that get to this was terrible. This was absolutely terrible. The content was top tier, elite, superb, but the adventure to get to the content, man, bro, goodness. Millie Mills and Toddy might have something to do with the turnover of the staff and Terry being El Cheapo with the money, possibly. Hey, he gonna let us know soon. I'm assuming they're gonna drop this on a weekly basis, so maybe this time next week, we'll know. Whenever they do drop episode 2, y'all, we'll be back. We'll be back. That gives us a lot of content to talk about, a lot of stuff to discuss. So when episode 2 comes in, we'll listen to it. Really said Atlanta fans crashed the app. Yeah, man, that's one of the drawbacks by just putting it on a app like they have. Like I said, I get it though. They getting all the money. That's Julio's app, and Julio has actually owned that app for years now. Years. He's never. I don't want to sound like I'm being disingenuous saying he's never did anything with it, but this is the very first time that I've been aware that he's done something with it. But he's on the app for quite a while. Brian says, I'm with you on that, Miller Mills Hill. To be honest, I believe it might have been Arthur Smith, especially when you look and see how they did Matt a year later. Possibly. Miller says, what's the app? Again, like Miller, it's like Rubik's Cube, dog. The best advice I can give you, just go to Harry Douglas Instagram or Harry Douglas Twitter and just follow the links, bro. Because like for me to try to explain it would be like me trying to teach you how to speak Spanish. I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know where to start. Real estate is called Squad. Hey, but y'all, I ain't want to stay here long, man. I just want to come in, check in, and get some feedback on this. And whenever they drop episode 2, we will be back. Whenever they drop episode 2, maybe they're gonna do this every Tuesday or whatever it'll be. But I'm looking forward to hear the Jets side of the story. Hey, much love to y'all. Peace. Your boy is out of here. Gone.